This is exactly what we've been waiting to hear, and for the first time in a long while, it feels like the Toronto Blue Jays are speaking with clarity rather than caution. Ross Atkins finally stepped in front of the media and, instead of delivering the familiar corporate fog we've all grown accustomed to, he offered something far more dangerous to rival fanbases: optimism. Real optimism. Not the vague, carefully padded kind, but the sort that hints at a plan still unfolding. And when you pair that with Kazuma Okamoto speaking publicly for the first time since joining the Jays, you can almost feel the ground shifting beneath this offseason. So strap in, because there is a lot to unpack, and trust me, you'll want to stay right until the very end. Before we dive any deeper, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Jays Nation Daily has been thriving thanks to your support, and if you enjoy in-depth Blue Jays coverage with real substance, make sure you're part of this growing community. Now let's get into it, because today might end up being one of those quiet moments we look back on and say, that's when everything changed. Today marked Kazuma Okamoto's introductory press conference, and Ross Atkins was right there alongside him. On the surface, it was meant to be a celebration of a major signing, but beneath that polished exterior was something far more intriguing. If you've followed Ross Atkins long enough, you know his tone. You know the rhythm of his answers. And this time, it was different. Not dramatically, not recklessly, but noticeably. Like a man who knows more chapters are still to be written. Atkins was asked the most obvious question of all: are the Blue Jays done adding? In previous years, this is where the shutters would quietly come down. He'd compliment the roster, praise internal options, and gently imply that unless something unforeseen happened, the book was more or less closed. That did not happen here. Instead, Atkins said the Jays will continue to look for ways to improve the team. He acknowledged that any additions now would cut into playing time for established big leaguers, but then he dropped the line that made fans sit up straighter in their chairs. He spoke openly about the team having incredible support from ownership. That line matters more than it might seem. Historically, ownership support has been implied, not emphasized. It's been the unspoken subtext, not the headline. For Atkins to highlight it so clearly is a signal, whether intentional or not, that financial flexibility is not the barrier it once was. This wasn't Ross Atkins throwing cold water on expectations. This was him carefully keeping the fire alive. What made this moment even more striking is what he didn't say. He didn't suggest the roster was set. He didn't hint that the team was satisfied. He didn't lean on the old safety net of internal improvement. Instead, he said if there is an area where the team can improve, and if there's an opportunity to do so, they will act on it. That's not language designed to calm expectations. That's language designed to manage them. Then came the inevitable question about Bo Bichette, and once again, Atkins resisted the urge to close doors. He wasn't definitive, but he was deliberate. He reiterated that if the team can improve, they will do it, and once again circled back to ownership support. For those who've listened to every press conference over the years, this was the loudest quiet answer he could possibly give. Ross Atkins does not talk like this unless something is still very much in play. This is where context becomes everything. Over the past week, Ben Nicholson-Smith has consistently reported that if the Blue Jays are to make another major move, it will require subtraction. A trade. Moving an outfielder. Creating space. Atkins essentially confirmed that without saying it outright. He acknowledged that playing time and roster balance are now part of the equation. That's not a problem statement. That's a preparation statement. It's also worth noting just how different this feels compared to previous off-seasons. There have been years where Atkins practically waved a white flag through phrasing alone. This time, he did the opposite. He leaned into the idea that the door is still open, even if walking through it now would require difficult decisions. And yes, maybe this is as close as we'll ever get to Ross Atkins saying, "We're not done." As this press conference unfolded, other voices around the league began to chime in. Scott Boras, never one to miss an opportunity to stir the pot, joked that the slow-developing position player market was Ross Atkins' fault. It was said in jest, but the subtext was unmistakable. Everyone is waiting. waiting for one domino to fall. And whether intentionally or not, Boras essentially pointed at Toronto as a potential catalyst. That comment sent Jays fans into a frenzy, and understandably so. WH.